Good afternoon, everybody. This afternoon, I would like to invite your attention to another important topic in the field of education: basis of modern child-centered education. If you look at the educational systems in different eras from past to present, you would definitely see some marvelous changes in the case of methodologies, approaches, and strategies. What is the difference between the teacher-centered traditional education and the child-centered modern education? Let me give you some points. Look at the term itself. Teacher-centered education, a shift from teacher-centered education to child-centered education. So it was teacher-centered. In the past, the classroom was teacher-centered classroom. A teacher was teaching something with some predetermined aims and objectives. He would prepare at home and he would come to the classroom and teach something on the basis of some predetermined aims and objectives. And he got the prominent place in the classroom. But look at the modern classroom, you would see it has become something called child-centered. Here the teacher is not teaching something on the basis of some predetermined aims and objectives, but on the basis of the interest, aspiration, and aptitude of the learners. So it tells that learner has become the center of the classroom. So it's called learner-centered classroom. It's a huge shift. And again, you look at the old classroom, actually the teacher was making use of some lecture method. The students were considered as empty vessels, or in the words of Paulo Freire, they were considered as empty bank accounts. So the teacher was to teach each and everything. The teacher had got the duty of filling the empty vessel called the child. So he was teaching each and everything without giving any opportunity for the students. There was only one method for teaching, and that was a lecture method. But nowadays, a student is considered as someone who have got some points, some ideas, some concepts. So he has become the center of the classroom. The teacher's duty is not teach each and everything, but the teacher's duty is to discover the hidden potentialities of the students and just to facilitate for the development of such potentialities. So teacher has become just like a guide or a facilitator. And again, in the past, teacher was giving some instructions to the general class. But nowadays it's not possible, because after the emergence of modern psychology, nowadays there is something called individual attention. Because according to modern psychology, each individual is unique. So teacher has to consider this uniqueness of different individuals. So he cannot teach, or he cannot give instructions to the general class, but he has to arrange his learning materials on the basis of the individual attention. And sometimes he may have to give different, maybe the same materials, but in different modes and methods to different individuals. And in the past, teacher was just like an outsider. He never became a part of learning. He would just prepare at home and he would just keep a note in his hands and just come to the classroom and he would just teach. After that, he would just give some notes and the students would be asked to scribble the notes. And sometimes he would ask some questions on the basis of the items which had been taught during the previous day. But nowadays it's not possible. Teacher has become a co-learner. Teacher has to learn because learners have got some opportunities for learning something beforehand just by browsing online. And teacher has to learn with them. Teacher should be a part of the teaching learning process. So teacher has become a co-learner in the present classroom. And as I told, in the past, classroom was passive. Only one-way communication was there. Teacher would teach something and the learners would listen to the classes given by the teachers and just scribble some notes. But nowadays, classroom has become something more live. Because nowadays classroom is full of activities. Because curriculum has become activity-oriented curriculum. Instead of using the content-oriented curriculum nowadays, we are making use of activity-oriented curriculum. So inside the classroom, the teacher has to organize different activities. Just like role plays, debates, discussions, dramatization, simulation. So some purposeful life-oriented activities. So teacher has become an organizer of activities inside the classroom. You cannot teach each and everything by making use of lecturing, but you have to make them actively participate in different types of activities. So it has become something more live. You can see some dynamic and live classrooms now. Again, it's a difference. And in the past, the evaluation was done at the end of some year, academic year, or at the end of some particular terms. And the evaluation was done only through some written examinations. But nowadays there is something called CCE, Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation. A continuous means evaluation is there throughout the year. And comprehensive means actually you have to evaluate the person in a comprehensive manner. In the past, actually, you were evaluating the intelligence of the students, the by-hearting power of the students, the grasping power of the students, the writing skill of the students. And see, in the past, if a student was able to by heart, and if he was able to write the answers correctly on the basis of the by-hearted items, he was able to pass. So you were testing only the intellectual part of the students in the past, but nowadays it's comprehensive. It means it should cover different domains of a person, not only in the intellectual domain, I mean the cognitive domain, but you have to check the emotional, you have to look at the emotional domain, you have to look at the physical domain, you have to look at the organizing capacity of the student, you have to look at the communication skill of the students, you have to look at the you have to look at the leadership quality of students. You have to look at the character and personality of students. And these items cannot be tested on a particular day. But you have to test, you have to observe. You have to observe the activities of different students throughout the year. So continuous comprehensive evaluation. It is continuous because you are evaluating a particular student throughout the year instead of evaluating him on a particular day at the end of a semester or year. It's comprehensive because you have to evaluate each and every domain of a student instead of evaluating the intellectual domain, the mere intellectual domain. So it has become continuous and comprehensive evaluation. And the past actually, the evaluation was evaluation of learning. You were just evaluating what the students got, what the students understood, what the students taught. It is known as evaluation of learning. But nowadays, you can see something called evaluation for learning. Evaluation is not done, or evaluation is done not only for testing what the students have so far learned, but also for making him learn more and more. So after conducting the evaluation, you would indicate the faults made by the students, just to make them remove such weaker areas, just to make them improve, just to make them take further steps for improving. So in the past actually you were evaluating the content which was taught by the student just for making them pass in the examination, so just for checking the quantity. But nowadays, it is not there. Nowadays, you are evaluating a person just for making him learn more and more things, by making him understanding, or by making him realizing the faults, realizing the weaker areas. And this is what is happening now. So there is a shift from evaluation of learning to evaluation for learning. So and for this type of evaluation, nowadays we are making use of different types of, or different methods of evaluation, or different techniques of evaluation. As we told in the past, we were conducting the evaluation process, or we were organizing examinations and such things at the end of a term, or at the end of the year, or at the end of a semester. So there was written examination. But nowadays we are making use of continuous comprehensive evaluation, and we have got different types of techniques such as assignments, projects, and different activities. And these are some features of modern child-centered education. And the basis of teacher-centered education in the past was the philosophical doctrines of doctrines such as idealism, or some traditional concepts. But nowadays we are giving more importance to the psychological aspects of education. There is a compromise, or there is an integration between modern philosophy and modern psychology. And nowadays we are following the doctrines, the concepts of, or the principles put forth by naturalism and pragmatism. And these schools of philosophy accept the principles of modern psychology, the concepts of modern psychology, the ideas put forth by modern psychology in the field of education. So we have got the concepts such as individual attention, then growth and development, and the concepts such as law of interest, law of effect, law of readiness. Also these principles, psychological principles, tell that we have to arrange the learning activities or the learning experience on the basis of the aspiration, the attitude and the aptitude of children. And you can see the contributions of different educationists such as Mahatma Gandhi, Tagore, Plato, Paulo Freire, John Dewey, Martin Buber, etc., as the basis of modern child-centered education. You can see some activities, as I told: dialogue, discussion, debate, brainstorming, critical analysis, assignments, projects, life-oriented purposeful activities, outdoor activities, direct experience, etc., in the field of modern child-centered education. All such aspects are the contributions of these educationists. So I may discuss and explain the contributions of these educationists as a separate videos. And this is just for making you aware of the difference between the teacher-centered education in the past and the modern child-centered education. And this modern child-centered education is not the product of a few hours or a single day or a few days, but is a product of some ceaseless efforts by different schools of philosophy and different great educationists. Thank you very much.